Good morning, my name is Nathan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am a landscape photographer from Brisbane and it is currently very dark. I'm currently at a spot a little bit out of Rathdowney along a road called Running Creek Road or Lyons Road. Now I'm really quite close to the Queensland New South Wales border and it really is the middle of nowhere. I'm here on my own on a little bit cool and breezy morning. It's probably 20 to 30 minutes away from sunrise. I'm just having a quick little bit of a wander around this area to see if I can find a composition. I've got a couple of things in mind, but it's too dark to show you at the moment. But I'm just going to wander around the car here on this little bit of grass and see what I can find. I did bring a couple of cameras with me this morning. I've got my Fujifilm GFX, of course, and my Hasselblad 503CX. The lenses I've brought are the 60mm Hasselblad lens, the 150mm Hasselblad lens, and the 250mm Hasselblad lens. So those I can use on both the Hasselblad and the Fuji. And I also brought the wide-angle Olympus 35mm for use on the Fuji. I'm a little bit concerned about the weather this morning. I knew it was going to be a little bit cloudy, and it's a bit cloudier than I'd hoped for, but what can you do? You've got to be in it to win it. But I did just get a bit of rain start to sprinkle on me, and as I look out, there's some low cloud building up all around me, so we may or may not get much this morning. But hey, I'm still out, I'm still going to try. I was really hoping to get some nice light. There was a little bit of colour starting to poke through on some of the higher clouds. I'm not sure if that colour is going to stick around as these clouds come in, but we'll just see. Now, I'm just going to turn you off for a minute because this light I'm using makes it hard to see, and just have a bit of a wander. Sorry if this footage is a little bit grainy. I'm having to use a really high ISO, but I just wanted to show you just out this way I've got some trees. That little group of 1, 2, 3, 4 trees maybe. I'm going to try and isolate those. They might make a decent composition, especially with that cloud moving in the background. So I've just changed my composition to try and focus a little bit on that sort of mountain or hill there where you can see all that cloud. I'm just going to try and grab a shot or two of that. Okay, so I'm using the 250mm as well, so it's a really tight shot. So I might actually throw a neutral density filter on, see if I can get a nice long exposure. So I've just fitted my 8-stop neutral density filter, which is going to make this quite a long exposure. So if I stop down to F11, sorry, from F8, and let's go for 40 seconds. It's hard doing long exposures at sunrise because if you get anything else cool, it all changes so very quickly. It's a lovely morning, even if I don't get any light. It's a really, really nice morning out here. Just out in the country. Everything nice and green. This is life. That's a bit better, but there's still not, it's like the clouds have basically stopped moving. There's not a lot of motion out there. So I might spin around and try and shoot this. Composition's nice with 250mm, but I can't get any of the sky in. Let me quickly switch to the 150. It still might be too long, but it's worth a try. So I'm really starting to get some great color in that sky. I think it might just be too high up to catch any of it, even with this lens. Let's get that up. Even getting the trees really quite low in the composition, I'm not really going to get any of that colour. I don't hate it though, so I think it's worth taking a photo and seeing how it turns out. I might just see if I can show you that colour in the sky. So this is my sky. It's not really showing much with this camera, but that's kind of how the clouds are. Okay, so I'm at f11, ISO 100. I'm shooting at 1/13 of a second, just to see if I can get some of that orangey pinky cloud in. It's funny, like last weekend, Andy and I went out for sunrise and we weren't expecting anything and actually got a bit of a cracker. This one's not turning out to be quite as good as that, but it's actually, I've got some nice atmosphere, I've got a little bit of colour here and there. It's definitely not a waste coming out this morning. Just gonna see what else I can find. So I just turned around behind me and I've got some colour up there behind these trees. I honestly don't know. Don't think I've got a great composition. But there's one big tree and a bit of colour in the sky. So I've gone for the 150mm. I'm going to underexpose so I don't lose that highlight. So I'm at f11, 1/40 of a second. Just got a bit of the low cloud or mist sort of almost starting to glow a little bit as a result of the sunlight up behind it. Got some cool mist out here near a little mountain. There is an ugly tree. I wonder if I can get that out. Might try and shift my position and see if I can get rid of this dead tree, or at least minimize it a little bit in this composition where I've got some glowing mist. Okay, let's have a look at this. So I've got a bit of a mountain out there with some mist or rain or fog behind it glowing. 150 is not long enough. I'm going to switch to the 250. So it looks like that mist is starting to get a bit thinner. Might try one in landscape orientation as well. So these, I can't get these trees out of it all. So I'm going to try and include them in a way that makes it a little more pleasing. I might even try stopping down a bit more just in case I need a bit more depth of field. Let's go to f22. I don't like to shoot that small, but f22, 1/3 of a second. I think this may look okay. We're just starting to finally get a little bit more light onto the hill over here that I started to shoot earlier. So I think that's worth a try. I was really looking forward to using the Hasselblad today, but if I'm being honest, the light isn't really conducive to shooting with film. So I think that using the Fuji today is not a bad thing. So I can just do a little bit more with those digital files to bring out some of the detail, whereas obviously landscape photography is always very dependent on light, but using a film camera, it's a lot more dependent on having excellent light, whereas I can sort of work a little bit more with files, the digital files, than I can with the film. So I think what I'm saying, is that the Fujifilm, the GFX really is the best tool for the job today. So I'm just going to switch out the 150mm now, because I think this scene would lend itself better to that. I like the 250mm, how tight it is. It's just a bit too tight to get as much in as I'd like. So I'm framing up a composition now. I might see if I can show you. So this is my composition on the back screen. I've got that little row of trees that's in the field in front of the mountain. So I'm going to try and grab those. What I might even do, they're probably too far away. I'll take one shot wide open, trying to focus on them, but I imagine they'll still be beyond that infinity focus, and just to see if I can separate them a little. If not, then that's okay. And just try and portrait orientation as well. So I've just grabbed a shot, 1/30th of a second, ISO 100 and f8, just to see if I can get these trees in front of the mountain. What a morning. It's a beautiful mist out here. Not really a good photo because the trees in the foreground just go up too high and you can't really catch much, but just to look at, it's just beautiful. And this is where today's video must end. I did grab 1 or 2 more photos, but not a great many. I didn't get the opportunity to do any more vlogging as I got interrupted by a gentleman who came along just to let me know about a couple of odd people running up the hill, and as we got chatting he saw what I was doing, and it turns out he is a filmmaker by profession. So as is often the case when like-minded people get together, we started chatting. Quite a bit of time passed, we met a couple of locals, and then he took me to visit a historically significant building in the area that not a lot of people get to visit. So I didn't get to finish my vlogging, but I did have a lovely morning, and thank you so much for joining me this morning. I really do appreciate it. If you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd also really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and leave any feedback you have, and I can't wait to see you again soon.